Does this change if I tell you I'm steering it with something else?
What would you be steering it with?
Trunk. I'm gonna use it to blow bubbles on the back of the boat and use it like a motor, and just like Flo thought he was smart with his oars. Wait till you see how this thing rips.
All right. Off we go.
So you guys make your way out the door, head up over to the river bank, and make your way up the stream as Avram had told you kind of roughly where it was. A few minutes pass by as you're kind of taking a look at some of the surrounding area. It's just a little past mid-morning at this point. Starting to kind of warm up a bit. The dew on the ground is, leaving, and you can hear some animals rustling through the river running by you. And as you kind of see a little bit ahead of you, there's a couple of like boats, more or less, kind of like pushed up onto the shoreline. They're not in the best of shape. They will feasibly float, but there's definitely a few holes, and there's no oars or anything of the nature with them, so it would be a little bit difficult to manage steering.
Will they hold Orlo?
You would guess.
I kind of set Buttonhead down and then walk over to the boats and start inspecting them, see if there's any like more detail.
What exactly are you looking for?
Like if they start floating, how quickly they take on water kind of situation, if there are holes in them.
Yeah, so there's two of the three they're decent. I mean, they definitely have some holes, but like they're not actively leaking very hard. The third one, it's a little bit more aggressive in terms of the leakage, but it would still probably get you a good distance before you would have to do anything about it.
If we were to take the boat, is it conceivable? Like, how fast would we move in the boat? Would it be conceivable? I'm thinking that maybe Emmerin stays off the boat onto the riverbanks and kind of scouts ahead, make sure that like no ambushes are coming in while we're in the boat. Is that conceivable, or is the boat going to be moving way too fast?
The river is moving quite quickly. It's a relatively large river. It's not always the deepest in places, but it moves very fast.
Okay. So probably not, then, eh?
So comparatively, for example, if it was going to take 10 days to travel on foot, if you were going by river, it would probably cut that in about half.
Okay. So, yeah, probably not then.
How do you guys want to split up into these boats? Do you even want to try to go down the river in these things?
I volunteer to not be in Orlo's boat.
What? I mean, me and Buttonhead here can take a boat our whole selves. We'll have a great time.
I'll come along with you, Orlo.
Just protect Buttonhead.
Of course.
We'll do our best. I'd like to do while they're getting the boat set up, just do like a quick perimeter.
Sure. Go ahead and give me an investigation, or give me a perception, actually.
Perception. Damn it. 10.
You do a quick walk around as they're getting the boat set up, getting everything organized. Do you want to do anything to prep the boats beforehand? Is another question. Like, is there anything else you want to try to do to them? Go ahead.
Who's taking? Did we decide who's taking what boat?
Me and Emmerin are going to take one boat. And since I am so large, I would imagine that we should take one of the ones that have fewer holes in them.
I'm going to go up to the boat that has the most amount of holes. Would you characterize them as being less than a foot?
The holes?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they're just mostly cracks like that water leaks through. It's not like actively like huge holes in them, like they've been hit by a cannon or anything.
I'm gonna cast mending on what is. I'm gonna examine it to see what looks like it's the worst crack. I'm gonna cast mending.
Okay.
Good idea. Doc, I got a passive perception of 16. I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, well, we can. So I'll also use that.
One thing at a time.
But yeah, no. So mending, you can repair the very large crack in the boat, and it reasonably looks like it fixed a pretty good portion of what would be the problem in that third boat.
So that I'm gonna walk around and like examine the other boats and see if there are any particularly rough cracks that I can also fix.
So I guess here's the question. How long do you want to spend doing this?
Preferably just like a few minutes.
Like 5?
Sure, 5 minutes.
So the reason I ask is because you can cast mending as many times as you want. So you could literally stand here all day and fix every hole in the boat. But with that, you're going to just focus on the bigger ones. You can very easily shore up these boats enough that they're still going to leak a little bit, but not enough that it's going to be any type of problem. And while this is all happening, Emmerin will be kind of doing a quick perimeter. You definitely hear the forest noises, which you would be used to at this point, especially traveling here recently. But you're not seeing any signs of any types of aggressive monsters or aggressive animals or anything like any more goblins or anything like that.
I want to try to fashion some makeshift ores.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an investigation check or a perception check, and then also an athletics.
11 for the perception.
Okay.
And then you said athletics?
Please.
Oh, okay. So 19.
Okay. So you kind of, while Laya is going around, trying to fix some of the holes in these boats, you'd be kind of taking a look around, and you would definitely be able to find some materials that you could use to craft a makeshift ore. Probably not the best of materials, but something that would work for a very short term. And then you would very, very easily be able to turn the materials into some type of an ore with either your sword or any crafting tools or anything like that you would have on you.
Actually have smith tools. That's great.
That would do it. Okay, so you have effectively removed the holes from the boat, crafted a system in which to steer them, made sure nothing was around you, and protected the most important member of your party.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
So anything else before you guys try to set off?
Not for me.
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Okay. Then let's do who is going to be steering each one of the boats?
Me.
Oh, steering.
Okay, then both of you, if you would give me athletics checks.
That's what I thought.
Does this change if I tell you I'm steering it with something else?
What would you be steering it with?
My trunk. I'm gonna use it to blow bubbles on the back of the boat and use it like a motor, and just like Flo thought he was smart with his oars. Wait till you see how this thing rips.
If that is the case, then go ahead and make a Constitution roll.
I got a 15.
Okay.
It's like not terrible. 13.
Okay. So, Flo, you kind of push the two of you out into the middle of the river here, and you start kind of steering your way and rowing a little bit. You don't really need to row a lot to keep yourself moving forward, but enough to keep you centered so that you're not hitting things. And as you start doing this, you hear this strange sound of bubbles being blown behind you as Orlo and Emmerin kind of push themselves off into the middle of the river, and he's keeping himself in line with you guys via his trunk.
So Emmerin will take his bow off his back and feed an arrow into it, and just keep a close eye on the front of the boat, just looking at the shores, making sure there's nothing coming at us.
What are you doing with Buttonhead while you are using your trunk as a steering device?
Oh, he's just sitting off in the corner of the boat.
Okay.
I'm just keeping an eye on him.
So when you set him down, he kind of just starts like walking around the boat, like kind of like attempting to do his best to patrol it.
If he if I see him getting too far away, I kind of like take my foot and like scoot him back into the corner.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and I'll have my my short bow out and loaded just in case.
Check. So as you guys are traveling down this river, you very, very quickly pass back past the keep, the stronghold, make your way around. You see the dock that you had passed earlier, or you had seen earlier, Zam. You guys kind of start ripping through some of the smoother parts of the river as you're going through, and while Emmerin and Laya are kind of just canvassing the area, you will occasionally see some like bigger animals, some small game, things kind of just like being near the water, getting drinks, traveling through, crossing, whatever it is. And you don't see anything overly threatening for the time being. You hit some pretty rough patches where you have to kind of finesse your way through a little bit, but Orlo, with your trunk being your means of guide, you're pretty able to easily make it through. And with Flo and his affinity for not only crafting those ores that he did, but his athletic skill, you guys are very easily able to kind of maneuver through without much of an issue. About 5 hours pass as you guys are just kind of cruising down, and you're not actively doing something all the time. So you guys can take a break, relax, have a snack, whatever it is you guys are doing. Because some parts of the river are very smooth, very big open areas. But up ahead, Laya and Emmerin would both you would see there's a crossing in front of you. It's kind of like a big bridge that crosses over a part of the river.
And our Flo and my boat is in front of theirs, correct?
Correct.
Okay, then I'll
Only because I'm allowing it.
then I'll I'll kind of like signal back to Emmerin to make sure he sees it and is like keeping an eye out.
So as you guys are kind of coming up on this bridge, you can see that you can go under it. The water does flow under it. It's not like it's a dam. But on the other side of that bridge, there is this big, what looks like kind of like a covered carriage, like a covered wagon, something like that, that's kind of stuck in the water just beyond this bridge. So is that something that you guys want to try to maneuver around? Do you just want to maneuver around it? Do you want to stop and like take a look at it? Do you want to just, what's the plan?
Do we see any people or do we hear any people?
People, no. Go ahead. You and Laya both give me a perception check, please.
Okay.
11.
God's damn it. 8.
As you guys are getting closer and closer and closer, you don't see anything from a range. But as you guys get closer up onto it, you can see that there's definitely some stuff inside of it. Whether it is like boxes or like chests, or you can definitely see that there's parts of at least one, maybe two skeletons that are kind of sticking out in certain places of it.
Ooh, okay. I'll look at Orlo and go like, I'm gonna go check it out. And can I, like, as we're coming under the bridge, can I like grab it and pull myself up onto the bridge?
Yeah,
sure.
I definitely slow down the boat to make it easier for him.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an athletics check, Emmerin.
Dice work for me.
Either
Damn right.
Great. So you very easily, as the boat's coming through, just kind of reach up and just yank yourself up on top of the bridge.
Okay.
And then Orlo, and then Flo, are you also going to kind of slow yourself down as you're... Okay.
I'm going to slow down. Are you going up and over, or do you want to go on the bank?
No, I think I'll just hop off onto the bank.
Okay, yeah, well... go off to the bank, the side of the river.
So you kind of steer yourself off to the side and kind of beat yourself a little bit enough to stop. And then Laya, you can go ahead and get off.
I just wanted to show off.
Yeah, acrobatics is not my strong. Or no, acrobatics might be fine. Athletics, not it. It's not it for me.
So Emmerin would like to approach the thing slowly with the bow and arrow out, and just do a quick look around the area just to see if there's anything, and then I'm going to check it for traps.
Okay. So then, give me an investigation check.
Dirty 20.
Nice. So as you're kind of taking a look from where you are, like, are you going to wade into the water, or are you just going to kind of look at it from the shore?
Oh, it's like in the middle of the...
It's kind of like shifted off into the middle, like not into the middle of the river, but it's like off into the water.
Okay. So I'll get as close as I can without actually wading into the water, and then kind of do an inspection that way.
Okay. Yeah. So what you can see, you can definitely see that there's a good amount of stuff inside of it. Like, it looks like there's some boxes, like I said, some chests. It doesn't look suspiciously like a trap or anything like that. It looks like it crashed, it got dragged into the river, and that's where it is.
All right. So I'll tell Laya all that. Looks all right.
Okay. If you want to check it out, I'll stand guard and I'll like still hold my short bow like at the ready.
So I'm gonna take a rope out of my traveler's pack, tie it around my waist, and then while Laya's still like aiming her bow out, I'm gonna tie it around her waist as well. Stay steady.
Okay.
And then I'll wade out into the water and try to get what I can from the...
Okay. So, and then Orlo and Flo, are you guys both going to stay in the boats just on the shore, or are you going to move your way over in that direction?
Is there any way that I can... Is there anything I could tie the boat to?
There's some trees that are further up, but you would know that if you just push the boat further up into like onto the shore, that it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I'll push the boat up a little further, and I'll I'll kind of stand watch at the on the shore of the river.
Okay.
Kinda like towards the outside of.
And then
Um,
Orlo.
I'm going to stay in the boat and try and move closer, but like maneuver in a way where I'd be able to like quickly escape further down the river past this if it came to that. Like,
Gotcha.
like if like they're up there and they need to jump into the boat so we can get away, like that kind of situation. I want to be like the getaway driver in this scenario.
Very Italian job of you.
Yes.
So you're kind of like keeping yourself in the slower portions of where this is and keeping yourself kind of back a little bit if you have to go forward. Flo, you're walking your way up, keeping yourself closer to the outside of things. But as you start kind of approaching closer, you do see some like little movement inside Emmerin. You can't tell immediately if it's like something in there, if it's just like a fish that's stuck. Do you want to keep moving up on it, or do you want to kind of back off a little bit?
I'll scream out the lion. There might be something here, and continue moving it a little bit closer.
Okay.
I'll make sure my rapier is kind of loose in its scabbard in case I need to stab something.
Okay.
And I'll have that readied so that if something crazy happens, I can just pop.
Pop.
Pop, pop, pop. Watching goblins drop.
So as you kind of like get up, you get up onto like the front of the carriage, as it were, right? Like, you know how they have like the seats that are kind of like up a little bit higher and you can see like into the back, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can see that there's some stuff kind of like moving in between the boxes. The water's a little bit murky because whatever happened to be inside of those crates, inside of the chest, whatever it is kind of like causing the water to be a little bit dark and dingy.
Sure.
But you can definitely see some movement as the water like moves over the boxes and things inside of it.
Okay, well, I'll shout out something like, hello, what's there? And then if it doesn't respond, I'm just going to grab a box and pull it out.
Okay. Then two things. Number one, roll a dexterity saving throw, and then everybody roll for initiative. It's a gator.
Gator. 19.
I've been deceptive.
I've been deceptive.